I'll call our meeting to order. And we'll look at section 2, changes to the agenda. I do have one. We have a deleted item 3.1, which was recognition of Choctawhatchee High School's competitive cheerleading team, the 2023 Florida High School Athletic Association state champs in the small co-ed division. And I understand they had a conflict in their schedule, but we will get them on another agenda. So that brings us to section 3.2, recognition of Niceville High School's varsity cheerleaders.
Let's vote on the agenda as amended.
Oh, thank you so much. I did forget that. At this time, we need to approve that agenda.
I'll make the motion.
And I'll second it.
Motion moved by Dr. White and seconded by Mr. Bryant. I need all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, so it passed unanimously. Thank you. So that does bring us to 3.2, recognition of Niceville High School's varsity cheerleaders as the 2023 FHSAA state champions in the Class 1A large all-girl varsity division, presented by Superintendent Chambers.
Thank you, Madam Chair and School Board. I want to start off by saying to the Niceville cheerleaders and also the Ruckle cheerleaders, I'm going to say a few words just about you all just as a group. And I do want to say it's interesting as we sit up here at this board, and every year we get towards this time and you get to see the level of caliber of our cheerleaders in our school district is absolutely amazing. And I do want to say to each of you ladies here, I want you to think back to last summer. I want you to think about those summer workouts. I want you to think about those practices. I want you to think about the times when you were frustrated. I want you to think about the times where you said, oh my gosh, this is hard. But this is what it's all about. And that's one of the great things about being an athlete. It's about challenging yourself and going further than you ever thought possible. And at the end of that is something very special, which is a state championship or a national championship. And that's what most people will absolutely never, ever realize. And you're realizing that already at a young age. And you guys are blessed to have amazing, I was going to say coaches, but in this case, you're blessed to have an amazing coach, and I'm sure others who support as well, and appreciate this legacy of what you are building. But it's just amazing in terms of what you are doing. And first up, I do want to say we have the Niceville High School varsity cheerleaders, and this is the 4th consecutive state title in this class. And the Niceville Varsity High School Cheerleaders 2023 FHSAA state champions in the Class 1A large all-girl varsity division. And again, 4 consecutive years, something like that does not happen. Raise your hand if you're a senior. All 4 years leading a legacy at Niceville High School. And before I go any further with these accolades with the Niceville cheer, board, do you have any comments?
Well, I'll just start out and say congratulations. I mean, you said it beautiful, the time that has been put in. I'm sure there was many a moment you did want to walk away, but also I'd like to thank our parents that have put the time and the money and that the backing that you have provided your child. You see exactly where they are at this point. So we do appreciate our parents and grandparents or any of the supporters of our students. So thank you.
Well, I just want to thank you for representing not only your school, but for our county as well. And when you go off and you represent Okaloosa County, that makes us really proud. And I'm sure that you conduct yourselves in the utmost manner, and that's as important as your skills. So thank you for being such good representatives for Okaloosa County.
And I'll just say this, echo the same thing, and also Superintendent. I see a couple of principals in the room, and I'll waive my time so I know that they'll have something to say like they do. All right.
And congratulations, 4 in a row. That's hard to accomplish, and to do that in this time when there's a lot of definitely a lot of competitive groups out there, and for y'all to continue to shine, that's awesome. And like Dr. White said, I'm going to yield my time to allow a little bit more celebration for our coaches and principal there.
Yeah, and I'll just say a few words that What a great feeder pattern we have right here in this room, from Ruckel and their excellence in cheer team to Niceville High School. And then certainly we can look for some of these names at the collegiate level, I am certain. And then just to add a little levity, back in the dark ages, young ladies, I was a cheerleader. And then when I became a teacher, I sponsored cheerleaders and coached them. But that was back in the day when we wore saddle Oxfords and knee highs. And you would get quite a hoot today if you could see some of the things that we did and called it a cheer. So I have absolutely watched the evolution of cheering to what it's become today, which is a true sport, and you have my utmost admiration for being the athletes that you are. Congratulations to both teams.
Remember the pom-poms for this
Oh, I
day?
do. The pom-poms are huge.
All right, and Principal Morello, if you come forward, and Coach Herndon, if you come forward.
Oh, getting them all.
And before you start, Mr. Morello, and so we'll do Niceville first, and then we'll do Ruckel after that.
I want to thank Mr. Chambers for allowing us to come to the board and be recognized for our cheer group there. The superintendent always talks about with these state championships to appreciate how hard that is, right? Everything, so many things have to fall into place and go your way to win a state championship. So this group did that. They did that 4 years ago. And then when things go well the next year and you have a lot of those same pieces back in place, and then it's a repeat. You've won 2 in a row. But then when you get that 3rd in a row, that's just it's unheard of. Nobody wins 3 state championships in a row in any type of sport. But to do 4 in a row is out of this stratosphere levels of achievement and excellence. So you talk about these seniors, sir. So these seniors, that's all they've ever done at the end of the year is win the last competition that they've ever had. That's their DJ Khaled moment. All I do is win, 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 no matter what. Right? DJ Khaled moment.
What'd I tell you?
So those seniors have provided great leadership. Coach Herndon, so the challenge also becomes then when you win 1 or 2 is to struggle against being complacent, right? We've done that. We've been very successful. How do we maintain that level of excellence? The standard is the standard. We're going to be that good. And it only takes walking through cheer practice 7th period just 1 or 2 times, see Coach Tanya and Coach Lindsay holding them accountable, holding that standard. We're going to be this good, and we're going to continue to win state championship at Niceville High School. So congratulations to our girls, to our coaches, and Coach Herndon has yielded her time tonight to senior Brooke Zemak. Brooke, come on up. So Brooke is a senior. She's a Niceville High School Hall of Fame member. She is on a track scholarship to FIU to throw the javelin. Brooke and I have a great story, so I lead the charge at the pep rallies. I get everybody going. I'm introducing stuff at the pep rallies, and I bring out the cheerleaders, and I said this year the 2-time defending state champion, Brooke goes, 3. It's 3. In front of the entire student body called me out. So now the 4-time defending state championship. Go ahead, Brooke. Speak for the group.
Okay. Hello. I wasn't really prepared to talk, but our whole team just really wants to thank all of you guys and everyone who constantly supports us. I know my senior class, we went into freshman year working so hard, and we won our first state championship, and we constantly were coming back to practices just wanting to get better, and that's what we kept doing. We kept getting better. We kept working harder. And now being a senior going into this year, I know all of my class, we really were just trying to bring it back to our team hasn't won anything yet. These girls on this mat, we have not won anything yet. It doesn't matter that a couple of us have already won 3 times. Not everyone on this team has won, and we just really tried to channel that energy, and anytime we stepped on the mat, anytime we were running on the track, we were one team. And we also really tried to, it's not me, it's we this year. And we are just really grateful and thankful that we got to continue this legacy. Thank
Hey, I
you.
like your bling up here.
I was getting ready to say,
Thank
I was
you.
I was getting ready to say, can
Hardware.
you show off those fingers there?
All the hardware she has on.
Sure. I just want to say, obviously, you guys have already said and heard it all, but these girls are extremely tough. Their parents, I'm so glad that you thanked the parents, because for both schools alike, the fundraising is a whole full-time job in itself to make everything happen. And so obviously we're really grateful to the community and the parents for that. But just this season, I've been here at Niceville for 6 years, Ruggles for 8, and I've never had an appendix surgery, and we had 2 in a, one season this year. We had a torn labrum that competed torn all season and just had surgery last week. We had shoulder issues, dual sport athletes, and the fact that they were all able to still prioritize cheer and be healthy enough to compete at that elite level is really remarkable, and I'm super proud of them. So thank you guys for all that you've done for us.
Thank you.
And we have Ruckel up here as well, so just going to have you all wait for just a moment, and then we're going to call up the Niceville cheer. Then we're going to recognize Ruckel by themselves after that. So, if Dr. Kelly, if you would join me.
Okay. You want to hold applause till all the names are done?
You lead this.
Let's hold the applause till all the names are done. Okay. She's not here. Destin Neely, she's not here. Alana Drab. Bailey Bosley. Avienda Saber. Reagan Ross, she's not here.
Yeah, we were.
They'll be on like.
Right.
Bella Watson. Ava Foro. Cayman Major, I don't know if you'd like to say it today. Kaylin Begley. Thank you. Avery Williams, who's not here. Carmen Holly. Cheyenne Altilio. Haley Sage Stillings. Thank you. Thank you. Emma Faye. Thank you. Oh, sorry. Braden Register. Ellie Carlock, who's not here tonight. Jersey Brooks. Casey Constant. And Brooke Zena. Oh, sorry. Rehorn, who's not here tonight. Here, Brooke. Taylor Rockford, who's not here. And London. Oh, wait. Shift forward for the photo? Shift on over.
And y'all are gonna have to huddle up like you normally
They're
do.
super good at this. Shorties in the front.
Everybody. Kinda need everybody like within this area, like I need everybody. Yeah. And that second row, probably gonna need to squat a little bit unless you're short enough. Let's have, yeah, one more person.
I'll go right here.
Okay, I'm gonna let those of you sitting right in front of me go ahead and take your pictures. So you got theirs. All right, here we go. And tilt your things just forward. There you go, perfect. There we go, just like that. Everybody smile. I'm gonna take a bunch. Somebody blinks. One more. Perfect. Thank you.
It has your name on it right there. Okay, at this time, I'm told that we need to call our public hearing into order. So let's scroll down, colleagues, to section 15. And then we'll come back and recognize Ruckel. So section 15, we will now convene a public hearing. And 15.1 is our public hearing for adoption of revised School Board Policy 04-22, School Health Services Student Illness, presented by Terry Schroeder, Program Director of Student Services, and recommended by the Superintendent for approval. Is there anyone here tonight here to address this item? Seeing none? I need a motion.
So
And a
moved.
second. Moved by Mr. Bryant, seconded by Ms. Gardner. All in favor?
Aye.
So it carried unanimously, Ms. Mary. And that moves us to 15.2, public hearing for the adoption of revised School Board Policy 04-24, student injuries, presented by Terry Schroeder, Program Director, Student Services, and recommended by the Superintendent for approval. Is there anyone here this evening to address this item? Seeing none, I need a motion.
So moved. Second.
Moved by Dr. White, seconded by Mr. Bryant. All in favor?
Aye.
And it carried unanimously. 15.3, public hearing for adoption of revised School Board Policy 04-25, administering medicines to students, presented by Terry Schroeder, Program Director of Student Services, and recommended by the Superintendent for approval. Is there anyone here this evening to address this item? Seeing none, I need a motion.
I'll move it.
Moved by Ms. Evanchik. I need a second.
Second.
Seconded by Ms. Gardner. All in favor?
Aye.
And that carried unanimously as well. Item 15.4, public hearing for adoption of revised School Board Policy 11-20, tobacco products on school board property, presented by Terry Schroeder, Program Director, Student Services, and recommended by the Superintendent for approval. Is there anyone in the audience here to address this item? Seeing none, I need a motion.
So moved.
Moved by Mr. Bryant. I need a second.
I'll second it.
Seconded by Ms. Evanchik. All in favor?
Aye.
And that too carried unanimously. And that takes us back up to, that ends the section for public hearing, and takes us back up to section 3 and 3.3, recognition of Ruckel Middle School cheerleaders.
Thank you, Madam Chair. And I do want to say to the Ruckel cheerleaders, you just got to see a little bit of school board business at 6:15 when you have a public hearing. You have to go into public hearing, so you got to see how some of our school board policies are created. But now for more of the more enjoyable time, and we spoke already kind of about your journey, the things that you've put into place in terms of being, I'll say, a champion. And all of you, again, you can think back to those days, those tough times, the summer, the long school year, to where you are today, but then you can also think about all the successes, the journeys, the friendships. All of that is so important. And I do want to say to you ladies, don't forget it, because one day when you're out of high school, one day when you're out of college, you will look back to these moments and you'll cherish these memories. So I hope that you keep that in the forefront of your minds. And I do want to say we're recognizing the Ruckel Cheerleaders, the 2022 UCA Universal Cheerleaders Association National Champions in the Junior High Game Day Division. And this is Ruckel's second consecutive championship in this division. And school board members, you also might have some words.
Well,
I'll
go ahead, start.
Yeah, congratulations to do it 2 years in a row. That's awesome. Just to see your faces out there, I can see that y'all are really excited, but all the hard work and effort that went into that. So I know y'all are really excited. Parents, again, thank you for your support for your children out there. This is, they can't do it without you. So thank you very much. And congratulations, girls.
And I'll just say same thing. Good job, girls, and thank you, parents, for everything that you do. I know it's a lot of work for y'all too, and I know that. Thank you.
And to kind of echo what Mr. Chambers said, please cherish this time. I know you may think it's a long days and all that, but it'll go fast. Before you know it, you'll be in high school and then you're graduated. So make sure that you share this time. Take a minute and stop and take it all in, because you deserve it and you've earned it. Congratulations.
And also, again, thank our parents and our community also. It really does take a village to reach this point, and how exciting, girls, that you get to see the Niceville High School girls that you're, and what you have to move into. I think that would be very exciting to see what's your future looks like. Good, strong program. Thank you.
Absolutely.
And the principal, Mr. Genezo, thank you.
Yeah.
And coach.
That's right. And I'll just conclude by saying everything that my colleagues have said and what we said to the Niceville group too applies to you. But also to recognize that just as Niceville, those girls have been role models for you. You are for the rising sixth graders for your school, and no telling how many of those you have already influenced. So thank you for what you do, and thank you for your hard work, and to the parents and grandparents as well, because we know that you too put in a lot of that work, waiting in the car, driving them to practice, etc. So thank you to all of you. Good job.
Thank you. And Principal Genezo and Coach, if you come forward.
Thank you, School Board and Mr. Chambers. Just going to echo some of the words that have already been said about the hours and the time and the sweat that has already been put in. But I kind of want to highlight a different part of these girls because they're not just champions in cheerleading. They have been a huge positive role model force on the Ruckle campus, not only to our campus and our students, but to those younger kids that come to us as fifth graders. They're the first faces that are seen when we have our RAM rallies and when we bring our fifth graders over that really get them pumped up. They get our students pumped up for all of our other athletic events. And they work hard on the practice court and the mat, but they work even harder in the classroom. And that's what I'm most proud of, because they truly are student athletes. And I'm gonna pass it over to Miss Abby Ballou, who's one of our leaders on campus. She assured me that her 15 minutes would be short.
I just want to start off by thanking everybody who has done everything for our cheer team. I am now a returning 8th grader since 6th grade. I've been here since 6th grade. I remember coming into the Ruckle Cheer program, so excited to become a Ruckle cheerleader, and then I got the email that I was a part of Ruckle Cheer, and it was the most exciting thing ever. And I've grown through Ruckle Cheer, and I can talk that our whole cheer team loves this program. We love Coach Tanya, we love our school, we love all of our coaches and our parents, and we love each other's a lot. Our team has become so strong. This is honestly probably the strongest team I've ever been on. And we did it for each other. Every full out we did, every cheer we did, we were always, during the routine, we were always cheering each other on. There was never a dull moment throughout the season, and we were always just supporting each other no matter what, in school, out of school, in cheer, out of cheer. It was just one big program. And I can say for everyone, especially our 8th graders, we are so excited to go into the Niceville program. The Niceville Cheer program, we're just so hyped to go into that because it's such a great program, such a great community. Everyone in there supports each other, and it is, like Brooke had said, it's more of a we, not a me. And it is just it's such a great opportunity that all of us get to take to try out for Niceville cheerleading, considering they have been 4 state champions, and that's pretty wild. And this being my 2nd year winning nationals and game day is also so exciting. And I can say at the beginning of the year, we only had 3 or 4 people returning on mat. So we got a brand new team, and we pulled it all together and still won game day nationals. And I thought that was pretty exciting and cool.
Very nice.
Very cool.
I just want to say, well, I brag about these parents a lot. This is the team of girls and parents that coaches' dreams are made of. When she said that they love each other, I have never in 8 years of coaching middle school had an entire season where there was never let's talk about conflict, let's talk about drama, not one time. And also it just felt like middle school cheerleading again. I feel like middle school is becoming middle school again. I feel like there were a few years that I was you think you're in high school, but you're 12, you're not yet. And this year it was just very innocent, but mature and responsible, and just wanted to work hard and wanted to have fun and constantly wanting to be pushed. And so I'm really excited for where I'm hoping that means kind of middle school is getting back to. But it was very refreshing just as a coach to have these girls and these parents who I'm like, have we done, this fundraiser? Have we gotten this part done yet, or this order form? And they're like, oh yeah, we already sent that to the district. It's been approved. I mean, just amazing, amazing parents helping and fundraising and leading the charge with that. So this has been the easiest year, season, and team of my entire coaching career. So I'm very, very thankful for all of these people. So thank you for having us.
Thank you, Coach.
Oh, sorry.
They said Mr. Walker is
Adri Robinson, Ashlyn Vores, Tanner Vasquez, Sarah Gonzalez, Roxley Sheldon, she's not here tonight, Aaron Stillings, Brooklyn Bradley, Molly Strawn, Willie Ross, Taylor Sanders, Allie Culbertson, Abby Ballou, Logan Williams, Brooklyn White, Uriah Bishop, Brooke Allslavin, don't worry, and Ella Kipps. And Mia Kate Marchand, who has moved to Washington, D.C.
He sent it to me.
No, because it's backwards. Just get the little ones on the front. Maybe scoot down just a little bit more.
Yeah, I need everybody to kind of like.
I can show you the whole thing. Yeah, it's just bring it. I couldn't remember.
Yeah, you're fine there. A little bit short. Okay, Mayor.
Ready? One. Girls. 1, 2, 3.
Okay, all right, so everybody, I'm gonna take a bunch. Any of you, somebody can verify blank, one more. Yeah, everybody got it? Got it.
Okay, well, while they're exiting, I'll make one more comment that both of these teams, every single girl had such wonderful poise about them. They presented themselves well. So,
Heard a lot of thank yous. and
yes,
very polite.
absolutely.
I enjoyed listening to all the medals claimed.
Cling,
Yes.
All the hardware they were
medals.
carrying.
A lot of
Absolutely.
medals.
So at this juncture, we are at Section 4, Administrative Personnel Appointments. Tonight, we have none. That brings us to Section 5, Public Comment, the blue card version. That would be those wishing to speak to agenda items, and we have none. Section 6 was for the workshop only, committee and staff reports. Section 7, consent agenda. So I need a motion to approve the agenda,
I'll move
the
it.
consent.
I'll second it.
So moved by Ms. Gardner and seconded by Ms. Evanchik. All in favor?
Aye.
So it carried unanimously. That takes us down to Section 8. Superintendent's Human Resources Recommendation. 8.1 was information only, employees on leave. 8.2, information only, deferred retirement option program, drop. 8.3, request to advertise a public hearing for adoption of a new job description for Central Office Administrative Assistant / Supervisor. 8.4. Oh, sorry, that's right. That was for approval.
Madam Chair, I'll
So-
make a motion that we approve item 8.3.
I'll second it.
Thank you, Mr. Bryant, and seconded by Ms. Evanchik. All in favor?
Aye.
So that one carried unanimously. 8.4, request to advertise a public hearing for adoption of a new job description for Director of Human Resources, presented by Dr. Hale.
Move it.
Need a motion?
Second.
So, motion by Dr. White, seconded by Ms. Gardner. All in favor?
Aye.
And that one carried unanimously. 8.5, request to advertise a public hearing for adoption of a new job description for truancy official, presented by Dr. Hale. Need a motion?
So
I'll
moved.
move it.
Second.
Moved by Ms. Evanchik and seconded by Mr. Bryant. All in favor?
Aye.
And that one passed unanimously. 8.6, request to advertise a public hearing for adoption of a new job description for SIS ERP Focus Analyst, presented by Dr. Hale. I need a motion.
So moved.
Moved by Mr. Bryant. Need a second?
Second.
Seconded by Ms. Evanchik. All in favor?
Aye.
And carried unanimously. 8.7, employment separations, presented by Dr. Hale. Need a motion?
Move it.
Moved by Ms. Gardner.
I'll second it.
Seconded by Ms. Evanchik. All in favor?
Aye.
Carried unanimously. 8.8, personnel recommendations, presented by Dr. Hale. Need a motion?
Move it.
Moved by Dr. White.
Second.
Seconded by Mr. Bryant. All in favor?
Aye.
Carried unanimously. 8.9, employee transfers, presented by Dr. Hale. Need a motion?
Move it.
Moved by
I'll
Ms.
second.
Gardner and seconded by Ms. Evanchik. All in favor?
Aye.
Carried unanimously. 8.10, employee suspension, presented by Dr. Hale.
Move it.
Moved by
second it.
Dr. White, seconded by Ms. Evanchik. All in favor?
Aye.
Carried unanimously. 8.11, reinstatement, reimbursement of sick leave due to line of duty illness, injury, or medical examination, presented by Dr. Hale.
I'll move it.
Moved by Mrs. Gardner,
I'll second it.
seconded by Ms. Evanchik. All in favor?
Aye.
Carried unanimously. 8.12, leave without pay, presented by Dr. Hale. I need a motion.
So moved.
Moved by Mr. Bryant. Need a second.
I'll second it.
Seconded by Ms. Evanchik. All in favor?
Aye.
And that 8.12 carried unanimously. We have nothing on Section 9. Section 10, Construction Program Owners Representatives Business. 10.1, status from Mr. Bryant.
So we do actually have a few things, a couple of things to report tonight. We'll get to 10.2 in just a second, but it is a good day for us because we closed on the property in Crestview. So we now are the owners of 80 acres in which we're going to build a new school on there. And this is exciting.
Very
It's going to
exciting.
be great for the city of Crestview, the community of Crestview. So looking forward to what we're going to do in that area up there. But on item 10.2, which we're getting ready to vote on, we did have a change in the cost, so we actually saved some money here. We're going to save $327,338 from the initial projection that was given to us. So that's a that's a huge savings for us. So as we vote on that tonight, know that we're coming in a lot cheaper than what was originally quoted to us. So.
Madam Chair and Mr. Bryant,
Yes.
would it be possible maybe to ask Dr. Smith to come forward and
Yeah.
explain how that savings occurred? I mean, $300,000+, that's a lot of money. And I think the public might appreciate knowing how that would happen, that we have a price and all of a sudden we save over $250,000.
As we've always done from the very beginning, we have a validation firm, it's called Faithful and Gould. Once the estimate is put together, all the documentation is sent to them, and they do an independent validation of the numbers that are put together by Jacobs Titan. And that process kind of runs parallel as the items are brought to the board. And many times there will be items in that estimate that will need to be validated against the existing estimate, and those numbers come up and go down as we eventually work out and come up to the estimate. Bottom line, one number was submitted. By the time we got through with the validation process, that number came down $327,338.
And that's something you might speak about. The school board has done with these projects for a number of years. Is that right?
That's correct, for 25+ years.
Yep. So we have an independent evaluation of those costs that helps us to make sure that we're getting the best bang for the buck.
That's correct.
Thank you, Dr. Smith.
Thank you.
Good job.
And anytime you can see the price go down, which almost never
It's amazing.
happens on anything.
Especially now.
And that kind of
Yes.
amount, that's exciting.
Yep.
Very good.
Thank you, Mr. Bryan.
Thank you.
Madam
Anyone
Chair.
else? Anything else? All right. So that brings us to 10.2, program number 6, task order number 21, the GMP for Longwood Elementary School classroom renovation that Bill was just talking about there. So I need a motion.
So moved, Madam Chair.
Moved by Mr. Bryant. I need a second.
Second.
Seconded by Ms. Gardner. All in favor?
Aye.
And that carried unanimously. So that brings us down to section 11, 11.1, attorney's business.
No report tonight.
Thank you. Section 12, 12.1 is out-of-state student trip request and approved by the superintendent. 12.2 is correspondence, request, and other matters from our superintendent. So, Mr. Chambers, take it away.
Thank you, Madam Chair. And as you know, this board workshop this morning gave a lot of information, and we also had an update on school buses. So I just appreciate that. I do want to say one of the items that we did mention this morning was that April is Month of the Military Child, and we do have Miss Elaine Lajeunesse, who is with us here today. And do want to just thank you as our liaison with Eglin and the partnership that we have with you each and every day. Just want to thank you for the work that you do for the military children of this community, and it does not go unnoticed. So we just appreciate that, and just look forward to continuing to honor our students this month, and then also it's National Autism Month as well, as we talked about this morning, and we'll be honoring our students in just multiple ways this month. And that's all I have this evening.
Super. Thank you. So that brings us to section 13, board members' announcements and/or requests for information. And so I think I'll start with Mr. Bryant.
Thank you, Dr. Kelly. I just want to comment. Tomorrow we start back, the students come back, and this is the home stretch. And we have our calendars full for the next 2 months. I can just imagine the parents that have students that are graduating, just all the honors programs that are going on. This is always an exciting time for us as school board members, and same with the superintendent, but just to see all the recognitions and all the good things that are going to be happening over the next 2 months. So we're on the home stretch. I'm not going to take away from how many days are left, because I know you have that.
That's all good.
Don't do it.
You will very regret.
And that's all I have to report today.
Thank you, Mr. Bryant. Dr. White.
Yeah, just a couple of things, Madam Chair. I just asked folks to see Choctawhatchee Principal Hex Tribe Life for a comprehensive testing calendar. If you want to know about all the tests, take a look at that calendar. And there's also a senior timeline of activities there that would be important for seniors to take note of. Also, the Senior Choctawhatchee Indian Scholars and Awards Night will be held Monday evening, April the 24th at 5:30 in the Choctaw Auditorium. And I just point out that I think on that Tribe Life, there's a request for students to complete a form if they think that they might be recognized. So I just point that out as a friendly reminder. Also, please see Pryor's Facebook page for their March calendar. And congratulations to the MEGS academic team for their second place finish at a competition held at the STEM Academy. And that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Gardner?
Yes, I saved my time this morning for this afternoon. Couple of things, or this evening. Couple of things. First, I'd like to start off and congratulate Olivia Beard that she was just appointed to the United States Naval Academy, and that's really awesome. We're very proud of her. She's an outstanding scholar and athlete, so congratulations to Olivia Beard. Also, I think I mentioned at the beginning of the month, Fort Walton Beach High School, the band, the symphonic and concert band, received superior ratings in the district festival. I don't think I failed to mention that was the 54th consecutive year. And every year since Fort Walton Beach High School, I'm close to that 54, but not quite. But that's a lot to be said. 54 years. I see y'all laughing at me.
Well, because I'm 54. So. That's how I'm taking it.
I did it to
Right.
myself, okay. But that's really awesome, 54. I mean, every year that they have competed in this district festival, they have received superior ratings. So I just wanted to make sure that I did recognize that. And also to a previous alumni, a large sponsor of the Vikings, Mr. Jared Boswell, and I haven't seen personally, but I hope to on Friday when we go to meet with some students, but his donation and the remodeling of the basketball locker room. I've only seen pictures, and it really does look like something that's at the college level. And I know the students and are very proud of that, and I do look forward to seeing that. And thank Mr. Boswell for his donation, his support of doing that. And speaking of support, also, we just approved some donations over at Destin Middle School. The Rotary Club there donated a $10,000 grant. Dr. Small has a vision of an outdoor learning environment, a space with desks, and students can go outside and do different science labs and outdoor learning opportunities. But to thank the Rotary Club for that $10,000 donation, and also to James Hernandez, he's with Marshall Homes. He graciously agreed and donated a large amount of supplies, materials for this project. So again, we see our communities stepping up and supporting our schools. It does take a village, and we do appreciate the support and the donations. I think that's all. Thank you.
Ms. Evanchik?
Yeah, I just want to remind, I mentioned earlier, but in case someone missed the workshop, that there's numerous scholarships out there for students, so parents and everybody, make sure you're checking all the websites for the schools, the high schools, and don't miss out on that scholarship money. And I debated whether I would say this or not, but sadly, again, we've had another heinous situation in a school. And of course, with all of us being in that and so close to schools, we just hate to see another shooting, but we're praying for those folks there in Nashville. It kind of hits kind of close here in the South, but hopefully one day we won't have to mention that, but another sad situation in the school, so we're hoping for those folks there. That's all I have.
Thank you, Ms. Evanchik. So I just wanted to take a moment to thank our superintendent and Mr. Bryant as our legislative liaison for continuing to prompt our legislators for the needs that we have, not just in our district, but even in the Panhandle, for those things that meet the best interest of our students and our teachers. And I know that every one of the members of this sitting board today, we all take opportunity to speak to our legislators and go out of our way to make appointment times with them to make sure that we have their ears. And I just wanted to put that out there in the public eye, that we do that. We are all advocates for what's right for our students and our teachers. So, but thank you to you two for doing it in a very formalized way recently and ongoing. So thank you. And then lastly, I just want to say again, as I did this morning, to send condolences to the families of two longtime employees of this district who made considerable contributions to our ongoing increase and improvements here in this district. And those are the families of Wanda Avery and Dale Walker. So I just wanted their families to know that we were thinking of them and holding them in thought and prayer.
So, Dr. Kelly, while we're talking about thoughts and prayers, let's keep one of our former school board members, and thoughts and prayers, Mr. Rodney Walker.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Walker. We certainly all know the contributions Mr. Walker has made to this district and to some of us as well,
Yes.
growing up listening to him and learning from him and his wisdom.
Absolutely.
So that brings us to section 14, the public comment yellow card version. We have none of those this evening. And I wanted to ask if any of our union friends have any contributions tonight. Thank you, Jordan. Any of our district staff, any other announcements tonight? Thank you. Anyone else for the good of the order? Okay. With that, then, we will adjourn. Thank you.